Well, welcome back to the Wltoys storm build. So we made it pretty far in the last part, and the goal of this is to get it buttoned up. This is probably going to be an ongoing project for a little bit, because even after I get the new tires and wheels and the body bolted back on and the rear shocks, there's still some upgrades I'm planning on doing in the future. I'd like to relocate the battery and a few other things. So I'm just going to get started with slapping this thing back together. I'm going to start off with getting, I think I'm at the point where I can mount my ESC, and I'm going to mount it right back to the original mounting point of the stock one, which was right there. And I should have plenty of clearance room. I believe the hump under the body is large enough to allow that to fit in there, I do believe. So I'll get that all mounted back up, and I also need to hook these lights up. I think I can hook them to one of these connectors off the stock axial ESC. Has a couple of light ports coming off of it. This is one I took out of my trail honcho years ago. So I'm going to take that and hook that up and see if these lights will work. Hopefully they will. Sometimes they blow because they're a different voltage. Won't know till we try it. So I'm going to start bolting that stuff back together, and I'll get back with you. Alright, so I've reinstalled the body cage. It was tight fit. I did cut out this section of floorboard with a Dremel tool. It would have set right in there like that. Pretty easy to slip it upside down and cut around the outside. And I wanted to put a figure in it anyway, so I needed that extra room, but turns out I also needed it for the ESC. You can see it is right up against there. So it's a very, very tight fit, but doable. And so now I'm going to change the shocks out. I got the rear shocks at least. These are really springy guys. Really hard to spring on them too. And no oil, of course. I'm going to use these ones I had laying around, and I think they're a 90 millimeter possibly. They're a little bit shorter, but that's okay. I'd rather have them a little bit shorter and have these oil shocks, and I already had them laying around, so I'm just going to throw them on there, and I'll get back with you. So this is how she turned out. All went back together fairly good. I just had to do a little bit of trimming to get that ESC to fit through. And then I wanted a driver, so I also trimmed that seat out. Well, I'll show you on the passenger side what I did. So I just took my Dremel tool, and I use this style a lot. It really goes through plastic, especially if you need to cut designs and curves and things. And I cut out the bay of the seat so he could sit recessed down inside there, which came out pretty good. He sat right down inside the seat. You can't even tell it's cut out when he's sitting down in it. And under the dash, I had to cut out a bit of the dash so I could get his feet through there. See his feet, yep, right up in there. So these are the tires off of my, they're the stock Falcon Wild Peak tires that came off of the trail honcho when I bought it. I think this thing's probably 60% trail honcho. It seems like I used a lot of parts left over out of that. And these shocks being a little bit shorter, I talked about installing. Seemed to work pretty good. I did take this out and give it a run, and it is a torquey little guy. It's got a decent amount of flex. You know, considering it's an IFS suspension in the front. This isn't really something I designed for my rock crawler course. This is something that I have more for blasting through trails and out in the woods. I've made it all waterproof, and with this 27 turn motor, it's got quite a bit of jump to it. It really completely negates the brake. It does not have, the drag brake does not hold it in place. It's geared too high, so it just rolls right along. So it's really good for the trail blasting. I made a custom seat belt out of black zip ties. They turned out pretty good. And pretty much, I think we're ready to take this thing out and give it a test run. Oh, I also mounted his blaster here. You know, he's going to need that blaster. Yeah, blast some rebels. So, let's get out on the trail and see how she does. Got nature's workbench going on over here. So we've made it out to test the 12429. See, I've added some Empire logos there. Help make that thing pop out a little bit. The one thing I have done different is since we stopped with the build series, I did take it out for a quick run. The 27 turn was too much for it. It was overheating the ESC. It was just too quick. So I threw a 45 turn Tekin that I had in there. So that's an excellent motor. But we'll get this thing out and romp it around this area here. Ought to be a pretty good playground to do a little bit of testing. Okay, I'm doing a little one-hand driving and filming here. But it still looks like it has plenty of get up and go, even with the 45 turn. And with the 45 turn, you can see, let me get here, that's about as slow as I can get it to go. So I can also kind of crawl with it a little bit. Well, we might have her stuck here. Okay, I got a little high-sided on that rock out in the deep water, but it's not doing bad at all. So it still has enough speed to what I would consider a rock bouncer. It bounces around pretty good, really. And it seems to handle almost all terrain that I want to take it on. This is the type of stuff I thought it'd be fun to drive this vehicle on. And those lock differentials are really coming in handy. So I think we're going to call this a successful upgrade test. Thanks for watching. I'll have some more video of this coming soon. I'm not done messing with it yet. It's a pretty fun little budget buggy. Well, have a good one everybody. Hope to catch you on the next video, and stay safe out there.
Yeah.